if you look on the internet and see what some leaders of Hamas are saying about the conciliation, you feel that they are repeating the same statements which were made by Fatah leaders. I read Abu Marzouk saying that there is no need for any further dialogue because we have exhausted all the issues and everything is clear and no need for any new dialogue. This was said by Abbas several times when Hamas were trying to avoid signing the paper and saying that there are still some issues they want to discuss. Rishik from Hamas leaders, well, he said that he was asked why you did not sign the paper before and now you are signing it. And he said, well, because there were some people influenced by Israel and the United States who did not want to the dialogue to succeed, but now these people are coming to the table with goodwill and therefore we are signing the paper. And there is an euphoria, I may say, on the level of the average Palestinians in the state. They are very happy with signing this conciliation paper. But in spite of this optimism, still people like me will feel some fear about the chances of success of this dialogue. For example, there is no clear national program agreed upon by Fatah and Hamas how they will handle the Palestinian cause for the future. Though yesterday there was a very interesting statement by Khalid Mashal when he signed the paper, which implies or indicates something new in this regard. There was no clear agreement about the security file, which is the most important file. It's true that it was agreed that there will be a higher security council. Hamas tried to say that the obstacle was that we wanted this higher council to be formed by consensus between us and the Fatah, and now the Fatah agreed, so this problem was resolved. There are people who ask the question, what will be done with all the achievements which Hamas achieved in Gaza during the last 4 years? Because, during the last 4 years, there were new structures of authority in Gaza. There's a new security which belongs 100% to Hamas. There were all kinds of departments and organizations which are purely belonging to Hamas. Is Hamas going to give up on these organizations, on these personnel who were hired and recruited from Hamas ranks? What will happen in the West Bank after 4 years of Fatah monopolizing everything in the West Bank when it comes to security and even to administration? These questions are still binding. People are still waiting to see clear answers for these questions. I mentioned what Mash'al said in Cairo at the signing of the paper, and I just want to mention what he said and ask what does it mean. Mash'al said that Hamas is ready for a Palestinian state in Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and Jerusalem, its capital. This is not different by any means from what Fatah is calling and saying all the time. He said that Hamas is ready to pay any price which is needed to make the conciliation succeed and transfer the agreement from something on paper to reality on the ground. And he added, we are ready for dialogue and for understanding and taking joint decisions regarding the political activity and organizing the resistance. So it's not the resistance, it's organizing the resistance, which for me is something very interesting. Organizing the resistance, it means that we could find a way to change all the old style which we were adopting. And he also said that we have given the peace a chance of 20 years, and we are ready to give Israel more chance, though we know that Israel wants the land, but they talk about peace. But let me ask the question, why in spite of all these fears and these things, why this conciliation took place? In my opinion, what happened on the Palestinian side is a direct result of some people call it the Arab Spring, and they call it the Arab Intifada or the Arab Awakening. I think it's a direct result of what's happening in the Arab world, mainly and specifically in Egypt and in Syria. Because if I speak about Egypt, Hamas was very happy with the changes which took place in Egypt. Hamas believed that now the Muslim Brothers will have a major role in the Egyptian government and the Egyptian leadership, and therefore they tried to postpone the signing of the conciliation agreement until after the Egyptian elections, because they believe that if after the Egyptian elections, the Muslim Brothers will be a major component of the government, and then they will be supportive of Hamas. I think that this was clear, the military leadership in Egypt. The higher military council in Egypt was aware of this thing, and they made it very clear to Hamas that they will not allow Hamas to play on the internal playgrounds in Egypt. That don't expect us to allow you to make any alignment with the Muslim Brothers inside Egypt and play on our internal playgrounds. And this message was very clearly delivered to Hamas, and it was supported by some leaders of the Muslim Brothers in Egypt who conveyed the message very clearly to Hamas that, hold on, don't get us involved with you. And we heard statements by Nabil al-Arabi and other Egyptian leaders about the readiness to open the borders with the Gaza Strip. Hamas understood this thing, and I believe that they were under pressure from the military council in Egypt to come forth towards the conciliation and sign the conciliation agreement. I think we can notice that in some statements of the Muslim Brother leaders in Egypt, when they started very clearly after the throwing down of Mubarak, they were saying very clearly that we don't want to be the president, we don't want the president, we don't want to form the government, we want to be partners in the country. And they started talking about that Islam is not against the civil state, and that we are not trying to achieve an Islamic state in Egypt. All these different statements which were made by different leaders of the Muslim Brothers were going in the direction that we understand that it is only by sharing, it's by political pluralism that we can work with the others.